My name is Thano Paris, and I'm an activist here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a member of the socialist organization Solidarity, and I'm recording this video reflection on the anniversary of Kent State, May 4th, 1970, where National Guardsmen fired on students protesting Nixon's invasion of Cambodia and the Vietnam War at the time. I think that it's very appropriate for us to remember Kent State at this time when Trump is opportunistically using the pandemic that we're currently experiencing to whip up xenophobia and racism, as well as to ramp up inter-imperialist rivalry with China by using jingoistic language about COVID-19 as the Chinese flu. I also feel that it's very important to reflect on the fact that right now I'm standing in front of a building, the Andrew Young School of Policy Studies, on the campus of Georgia State University, which houses the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, which is a partnership between the state of Georgia and Israeli police. It functions as a type of study abroad program for current students in law enforcement to travel to Israel and to train with Israeli police around counterterrorism and narcotics interdiction. And it's been a site of struggle among Arab and Palestinian community activists, as well as students at Georgia State, for almost a decade now. I was on this campus in 2009, 2010, when that struggle was first being built. It was one of the early boycott, divestment, sanctions campaigns which were launched in the U.S. by Palestine solidarity activists at the time. And it's really been effective in helping to politically educate many people in this city and beyond around the connections between issues like Black Lives Matter and imperialism and occupation as it regards the struggle of the Palestinian people. And I would also point out that across the street from where I'm standing is a park that is known among progressive people and activists as Troy Davis Park. This is the main park where Occupy encampments took place in 2011. And of course, Occupy was inspired by Tahrir Square and by the Arab revolutions of that time. Occupy was also inspired as well by the execution of a black man, Troy Davis, here in this state at the same time. And Troy Davis's execution had an impact on Occupy, not only here in Atlanta, but nationally, because Occupy Wall Street protesters in New York had marched across the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City in solidarity with those opposing Troy's execution. When they were attacked by police, some of the footage was caught by mainstream media and was shown all across the country, and it spurred activists in other cities to set up similar encampments. And I think that if you look back at these events, at Occupy and also at the Arab Spring, I think that you'd have to understand them in the context of the worldwide capitalist economic crisis and recession of 2008. And right now we're on the edge of another economic crisis which is even deeper than that previous one. And I think that just like that previous one, we have a responsibility to prepare the ground and develop another wave of struggle and fight back that will draw on the lessons of the previous wave and, other experiences that preceded it. And I would just underline that just as in Egypt, Syria, and other nations, you had working class people, urban middle class layers, and others who were raising just demands around political democracy, resisting, clerical and religious reaction, and also in different ways standing up against, their domestic ruling classes, that those struggles are still there and have the potential to be renewed. And here in this country, we have our own struggle and set of class fightbacks which are developing in response to some of the social conditions related to this pandemic. It is a really important time for us to rededicate ourselves to struggle, to trying to do everything that we can to maximize the opportunities for genuine anti-capitalist revolution from below in the interest of working class people, oppressed nationalities, and other important social layers, the immense majority, the 99%. And it's in that spirit that we remember Kent State. Solidarity.